Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Dear Venerable Sangha, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, you are invited to join us in this weekly Buddhist newsreel on PHÚC online channel. Hereafter 8 major headlines of Buddhist activity of the week. Message from the Dharma Master of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha for the Great VESAK Ceremony Buddhist Calendar 2565. Speech of the Chairman of Administrative Council, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha on the occasion of VESAK Ceremony, Buddha Year 2565, Solar Calendar 2021. The Dhamma preaching of Most Venerable THÍCH NGHIêM on the occasion of the Great VESAK Ceremony, Buddha Year 2565, Solar Calendar 2021. President Nguyễn Phúc was impressed by Buddhist contribution to the country. Ho Chi Minh City, nuns at Vietnam Buddhist University chanting Samantha MUKKHA Sutra and Great Compassion mantra pray the COVID-19 epidemic will soon be eliminated. Vietnam Buddhist Sangha offers ventilators and oxygen generators to Indian people. Hanoi, Buddhists join hands in environmental protection and responding to climate change. Updated news of COVID-19 pandemic in Vietnam. The following are news in details. On the occasion of Buddha's birthday, Buddhist Calendar 2565, Solar Calendar 2021, Elder Most Venerable Thích Phổ Tuệ, the Dharma Master of Vietnamese Buddhist Sangha, sent to the Most Venerables, Master Nuns, Venerable Monks and Nuns, Vietnamese Buddhists at home and abroad. The VESAK message with the main content as follows.
Buddha was born for the benefits of the majority, for the happiness of the majority, for the benefits and happiness of gods and humans. His Dharmakaya is not only incarnated in this earthly world for enlightening the sentient beings, but also exists relentlessly as Nirmanakaya, body of transformation, to bring about constant benefits for sentient beings. With boundless compassion inspired him, Buddha reached the enlightenment and found the way of emancipation to the ultimate nirvana. The historical life of Buddha Sakyamuni is a truth image showing the path to cessation of suffering, spreading love and peaceful light all over the planet. As herald of the endless truth of universal compassion and wisdom, VESAK is a time for each of us to commemorate and recall the Buddha's life and his timeless and spatial messages. Celebrating the Buddha's birthday is a sacred event for all of us who follow the footsteps of the Buddha to practice and to live according to his instructions, to follow the path of precepts, samadhi, wisdom, that he, who had the experience of bringing peace, happiness to everyone, and the wealth, prosperity for the country, and the peace for mankind. In today's volatile world, we are facing very serious crises of disease, environmental degradation, climate change, and conflicts all over the world. More than ever, mankind needs to receive the energy of faith in the treasure of the Buddha's miraculous teachings of the Almighty. Only then will we overcome these crisis challenges. Based on the theory of dependent origination, it helps everyone realize that we are all responsible for the cause of crises which are all interdependent with us. Therefore, we must work together in solving the unpredictable challenges that are taking place day by day. The COVID-19 pandemic has made the world realize that we need to stand side by side and act together for common goals and interests. Peoples of countries need to sit together, work together to find solutions to global climate change, and share equal access to COVID-19 epidemic vaccines without discrimination. Everyone shall esteem the consensus of might, unite together with the government and the whole society to overcome the pandemic, to stabilize the livelihood, and to develop the country. This year's Buddha's birthday season returns to our lovely Vietnam country right on the occasion of many important events of the country and the Sangha. On behalf of the Standing Board of the Council of Veterans, I would like to have words of accolade to commend the merit of the venerable monks and nuns, pagodas, temples, monasteries throughout the countries, Vietnamese Buddhists at home and abroad, who have united, harmonized, nurtured the religion to reveal the Dharma, venerate the Sangha with many signified Buddhist achievements. That affirms the 40-year journey of establishment, development, and integration of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha as the result of inheriting the traditional quintessence of 2,000 years of Vietnamese Buddhism in accompanying the nation. On this occasion, I would like to congratulate the leaders of the party, states, and Vietnam Fatherland Front for leading the country to many great achievements in the cause of national construction and defense and national development for Vietnam to be a strong power beyond the year 2045. I would congratulate the country on the good control of the pandemic, ensuring the safety of health for the people in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic, and for socio-economic development in the dual task. I would like to express the congratulations on the successful election day of the 15 National Assembly and the People's Councils at all levels for the 2021-2026 tenure. With all the best wishes to venerable monks and nuns, lay people, and Buddhist followers of Vietnam at home and abroad, the peaceful Buddhist birthday in the Dharma. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Dharma Master of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Elder Most Venerable Thích Phổ Tuệ.
The following is a Buddha birthday speech. Buddhist Calendar 2565, Solar Calendar 2021 of the Most Venerable NGHIêM Nhân, Chairman of the Administrative Council, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, sent to the Most Venerables, Master Nuns, Venerable Monks and Nuns, laymen, Vietnamese Buddhists at home and abroad.
Ladies and gentlemen, VESAK is a sacred festival of millions of monks and nuns, Buddhists in the world. The VESAK festival is even more meaningful when on these historic May Days, the United Nations organizes VESAK to deliver the message of nonviolence and to serve the sentient beings, which is more adaptable than ever, particularly when humanity is at a time of increasing inequality and lack of tolerance. Even when humanity was suffering from the catastrophe of the COVID-19 pandemic, undergoing the measure of social distance, the United Nations held an online VESAK celebration to connect with many countries in the spirit of VESAK season for all of us, whether Buddhist or not. It is time for us to meditate together on the life of the Buddha, to receive inspiration from his wise teachings so that the world always be equal for sustainable development. The day the Buddha was born was 2,645 years ago in the Lumini Garden in ancient India, currently present-day Nepal. That was the moment when the full moon dawned. The Buddha's birth was a rare event for all mankind. He is the enlightened master teacher who shined the light of energy that dispels the ignorance of a society where social classes were categorized into the rich, the poor, and injustice prevailed. It was caused by human greed, hatred, and delusion. Only the Buddha had transcended the sense of self. Therefore, he is an unique being, an extraordinary human being who appears in this world for the benefit and happiness of the majority, our compassion for gods and humans. That is the supreme patriarch, justice of Tathagata. Today, monks and nuns, Vietnamese Buddhists solemnly organize the great celebration of the Buddha's birthday, about the year 2565. Solar Calendar 2021 is boundless joy with many important events. The Sangha celebrates the 40th anniversary of the establishment of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, 1981 to 2021, especially the election of the 15th National Assembly and the People's Council at all levels for the term 2021 to 2026. Celebrating the birth of Buddha this year, monks and nuns, Vietnamese Buddhists, departments, central institutes, and the Administrative Council of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha at all levels are active in monastic affairs for the benefit of life. It is the pivotal year of effort to complete the Buddhist program of the 8th National Buddhist Congress towards the 9th National Buddhist Congress in 2022. The administrative board of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in provinces and cities nationwide is directing the successful organization of the Buddhist congresses at the levels of districts, towns, and cities under the province for the term 2021 to 2026. In the joyful atmosphere of celebrating the birth of the Buddha, all the Buddhists on this planet together carried out the Buddha's ideas and teachings, diligently practiced the precepts, meditation, and wisdom through the Eightfold Path. We should always respect the life and living environment of all species, encouraging a peaceful and mutual relationship between people, between human and symbiotic species, living in harmony on the basis of kindness, compassion, joyfulness, and forgiving to bring about a life of delight without suffering. In the Mahadukkhakhanda Sutta on suffering and agony, the Buddha reminded the monks, "Hey monks, while sexual drive acts as a motive, while sexual drive acts as a dependent origination, which are predestined to contradict, once it comes to disputes, debates, oppositions against each other, thus they all lead to death, to the agony almost eliciting the death." With all the sacred meanings of the Buddha's birthday, I wish all Buddhists to be aware, mindful in all circumstances, strive to practice, cultivate morality beyond the temptation of the materialistic world, and neutralize the bad karma. We must truly show off as a harbinger of peace, live together in harmony on the basis of precepts, practice a selfless moral life, together create a world of peace and equanimity in this human world. Besides, I also hope that all levels of the Sangha and localities will have many creative and practical Buddhist activities to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the establishment of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. We pledge to actively respond to the national election of the 15th National Assembly and People's Council at all levels for the 2021 to 2026 term with hope toward great success. Wishing you all an immeasurable and auspicious Buddha's birthday, accomplishing the Buddha's deeds and the world's endeavors in the blessing of the Buddhas. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha in witness.
On the occasion of Buddha's birthday, Most Venerable Thích NGHIêM, Vice Chairman of the Administrative Council, Head of Dharma Enactment Section, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha had preached on the meaning of Buddha's birthday with the subject, The Birth of Buddha, Rarity of Universal World.
Roughly 2,645 years ago, the Vesantara Bodhisattva from the heavenly two-seater manifested through the appearance of Prince Siddhartha Gautama, the son of the king Suddhodana and Queen Maya. At the age of 29, the prince was ordained, aged 35, to become enlightened as Buddha. After 45 years of Dharma propagation, at the age of 80, he entered Nirvana. The assistance of the Blessed One in the world opened up a new era, the era of humanity towards true freedom, equality, and compassion for man and all beings. This is considered a rarity of the world that the classical scriptures record as a saint appears in life for the happiness and well-being of the majority, for the benefit and for happiness, for the welfare of the gods and mankind. From Anguttara Nikaya, Chapter 1, One-Man Sutta. Rarity with immeasurable compassion. In a field plowing roadshow, ceremoniously organized at the beginning of the year, both the king and the dynasty focused on the cultivating roadshow. Prince Siddhartha Gautama saw the pain of insects writhing under the ravaging teeth of the pharaohs. The sparrows swooped down and picked them up. Then he went to the apple tree to stand and contemplate the reason of life and death. A young prince just 7 years old, instead of playing, making fun with festivals, being naive in the first spring crop, here he saw the roots of suffering in life. The pain of struggling in battles, the stronger won, the weaker lost, even applicable to the life of the tiniest insects. Through the light of dependent origination, mankind gradually realized that human life is inseparable from the life of all species, from birds of wild animals to plants and flowers. The environment has a magical interaction with people. A well-reserved environment will lead to a good life. Wild rivers, mountains, forests, trees, birds, and animals are protected. People will ensure health, less diseases, longevity, and less disasters. If the environment is destroyed, then animals are killed. Human life will fall into crises and difficulties. And the COVID-19 pandemic is a testament to that. That is the inevitable consequence of the destruction of the environment, the massacre of animals created by humans, and now humans have to face it. When growing up in an on-for-gay leisure work instead of enjoyment and appreciation, the prince showed personal gloomy concern when he saw the four ephemeral appearance, birth, old age, sickness, and death, which touched him strongly in the heart. At the moment, he thought that he and the likes of him would get old, sick, and die like many people. From there, he paid attention to finding a way to save life. Rarity with great renunciation. As a prince on a high throne, in the golden palace surrounded by beautiful royal concubines, he denied all the power, the fame, the secular happiness. He said farewell to his parents. He left the royal palace to go straight into the forest to find the Dharma for a hope to save him and the life. Fame, authority, status, power, wealth, family happiness were the cherished things that the world had craved for. Human history had proven through how many wars, how many conflicts, which had caused deaths, mourning funerals for nothing, but as a result of greed. Yet he gently shook away, like shaking off the bare dust, like a wind through dry branches, a great renunciation that few people could have ever made. Rarity with a mindset of equality. People were divided into 4 distinct classes in the ancient Indian society at that time, but the Blessed One, Venerable Buddha, established a new way of life, the one based on equality between people and people, equality between men and women, no social class discrimination, and the people of the same red blood and rainy tears. Human dignity does not lie in race, color, ideology, male or female gender. It lies in the moral character and the benevolent lifestyle. Mahakassapa used to be the Lord Sangharaya of a religion worshipping fire. Angulimala used to be the killer. Upali used to be a low-caste barber. Ambapali used to be a famous dancer prostitute. And Natha Bindikar used to be a billionaire. Chivakar used to be a talented physician, and so on. Although each person with different statuses and social status, when they joined the community of the Buddhas, it was like 100 rivers flows into the sea. The water becomes one without keeping the name of each river. Hey bhikkhuni means and nuns, once there are great rivers, such as the Ganges, Yamuna, and Siravati and Mahi rivers, and when they flow to the sea, they give up their old names and become the Vasi. Hey bhikkhuni, this is an unprecedented miracle. Subset of Sutra 1, Buddhist Autobiography, Chapter 4, NGHIİM Sutta. Rarity with humankind. The country of India is one of the cradles of human civilization, with hundreds of doctrines, ideas, and religions, taking Brahma, Lord, God, as the object of reverence, as the center of life. Sakyamuni whereas took the humankind as the focused object, the ultimate course of action. The Buddha taught that each person decides for himself or herself to choose his own path and receives the good or bad effects created by himself. In all dharmas, the mind is the master of all creation, Dharma 1 and 2. The mind plays the mastery, the mind decides the creation. It's interpreted that we desire our own happiness, sadness, and blissful life without anyone else. If there is any emancipation or boundness, then the emancipation or the boundness is created by us. The distrustful viewpoint shows that there is an object outside of us to arrange, determine our own fate. Righteous view will see that no one other than ourselves is the one who decides this life and the future for us. In other words, we live according to the law of objectivity, cause and effect. We have the wisdom to choose our good and bad future right from our thoughts, words, and deeds. We are the master who created karma, and we inherit that karma. It is the karma that we rely on, leading us to rebirth. Man is the owner of karma, an inheritance of karma. Karma is the womb, karma is the kinship, karma is the fulcrum, and the karma divides the sentient spaces into either inoperative or operative groups. Mahima Nikaya, Kalakarma, Vihanga Sutta, number 135. Rarity with freedom of thoughts. Man must live with faith, not blind faith, but intellectual faith, judgment in ourselves. Faith with their wisdom will easily fall into fanaticism and erroneous views. The Dharma preached by the Blessed One has the following characteristics. Being practical in the present, catching up with the time, coming up to see it and impart. It is only the intellectual with wisdom who could understand and have the ability to see upwards and bring their ascetic practitioners to preach the noble truth. With these 6 characteristics, we are given a complete insight into Dharma with wisdom, not the arbitrary beliefs. Thus, we know the right from the wrong way, the consequence of the good and the evil for our practice. Hey, Kalama, don't believe what is retold. Don't believe what is commonly practiced. Don't believe the rumors. Don't believe the Eastern scriptures. Don't believe the reasoning. Don't believe the formula. Don't believe the full reflection of the events. Don't believe the investigated undertakings or the accepted theory. Don't believe the appropriateness. Don't believe the fellow monk because he is your teacher. But dear Kalamas, when you know for yourself, these dharmas are decent. These dharmas are not to be blamed. These dharmas are prized by the wise. These dharmas, if implemented and accepted, will lead to happiness and contentment. By this time, dear Kalamas, you should have come and well in equanimity. From Anguttara Nikaya, the Sutras 1. Towards the great VESAK of Buddha year 2565 with 3 major events, commemorating the birth of the Buddha, the Enlightenment, and Nirvana. Reviewing some of the markings of his life and karma to remind us that the shining wisdom of Orient Mastermind still remains for us. Each of us should practice the Dharma and bring the Dharma to life, helping life with transform, bringing happiness, cheerfulness and benefits for gods and humans that the Blessed One has reminded us. This year's Buddha's birthday is right on the 40th anniversary of the establishment of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, 1981-2021. This is a great event of Buddhism with more than 2,000 years of history, the crystallization of ascetic practice and Dharma services of 9 Buddhist sects forming the Sangha. It can be said that this is a great reunification of Buddhism on a par with the Buddhism unification during the Cheng dynasty, when the 3 Zen sects of Bhikkhu were merged, namely Vinitaruti, Indian hermit monk, Wu Yantong, Chinese Buddhist monk, Cao Tong school of thought, Chinese Chan Buddhist sect, into one unit Sangha. Therefore, every monk, nun, and Buddhist layman should ceaselessly bring the Dharma of compassion to shine everywhere as instructed by Buddha. Hey Bhikkhuni, men set out on a way to deliver the sermon for happiness, for peace, for sentient beings, for the love, for life, for cheerfulness, for the welfare of the gods and for human beings. Mahapadana Sutta, Digha Nikaya 1. As a meaningful act you dedicate to him, the Almighty, as a tribute to his birth season. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha.
On May 13, 2021, Most Venerable Thích Thiện Nhân, Chairman of the Administrative Council, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, led a high-ranking delegation of the Vietnamese Buddhist Sangha to Thống Nhất Hall, Ho Chi Minh City to congratulate the new president, Nguyễn Xuân Phúc, who was elected at the 11th session, the 14th National Assembly.
On behalf of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Most Venerable Thích Thiện Nhân congratulated Mr. Nguyễn Xuân Phúc on being trusted by the National Assembly to hold the position of President of the Social Republic of Vietnam. Most Venerable emphasized, during his time as Prime Minister, the new president had led the country to overcome many difficulties, challenges of the time, bringing the Vietnamese people to a new height of global development integration. Especially for Buddhism, the new president always cares and creates favorable conditions in all aspects, including helping the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha to successfully organize the United Nations Days of the VESAK in 2019. And this event has made very good echo to friends in Dharma worldwide. Most Venerable hope to continue receiving the attention, support of the new president and believe that Vietnam will achieve many achievements under the wise leadership of the party, the new president and the government. Finally, Most Venerable Thích Thiện Nhân prayed for the peace of Vietnam, the epidemic to quickly eliminated, and also prayed for the president's health, wisdom, bravery to let Vietnam more and more civilized and prosperous. Venerable Thích Đức Thiện and Most Venerable Đào Như and Most Venerable Thích Huệ Thông also spoke at the meeting to congratulate the new president of the nation. Receiving good wishes from the delegation of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, new President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc said, after many years working as members and leaders of the government, he is really impressed by the great contributions of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha for the country. The meeting between the president and senior leaders of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha at the Thống Nhất Hall this time were very meaningful, and he mentioned the roles of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha for national security and the people with 40 years of achievement in the spirit of Dharma, nation, socialism. He also shared that when visiting Khmer Theravada Buddhism pagoda in the north, the center, and the south, he noted that Buddhist monks, nuns, and Buddhists always expressed their belief in the lessons of Most Venerable Thích Thiện Nhân, Chairman of the Administrative Council of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. He also mentioned the anniversary of 3 times a campaign to Vietnam Buddhist Sangha to organize the United Nations Days of VESAK and to prevent and control the COVID-19 pandemic. Finally, the president sent greetings to the Elder Most Venerable Thích Phổ Tuệ, the Dharma Master of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, to monks and nuns and Buddhist followers. The president sent portraits of President Ho Chi Minh to the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha delegations on the occasions of the Buddha's birthday 25 celebrated this year, coinciding with President Ho Chi Minh 30th birthday. At the same time, reviewing the event after the delegation of independence, President Ho Chi Minh went to Quang Sư Pagoda and said, Buddhism and Vietnam are inseparable, two but one.
On the evening of May 5, 2021, at Thanh Tâm Pagoda, Ho Chi Minh City, more than 700 Buddhist nuns at dormitory of Vietnam Buddhist University chanted at the SAMANTHA MUKKHA Sutra and the Great Compassionate Mantra to pray for sentient beings to overcome soon the disaster caused by the COVID-19 epidemic.
In the solemn atmosphere of Buddhist nuns at Vietnam Buddhist University, 1,000 candles had been lit to pray the COVID-19 pandemic will be ended soon. Before the powers of the Buddha were proved at the Great Hero Palace, the Buddhist nuns together chanted SAMANTHA MUKKHA Sutra to focus on the lands of the Buddha. Continuing the chant section, the Buddhist nun received lantern and chanted the names of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva while walking with mindfulness around the Amitabha Buddha campus.
Finally, the Buddhist nun gathered influence of the studies of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva to continue chanting the Great Compassion Mantra to pray for sentient beings to have peace to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic soon, and for those who have passed away are liberated. Responding to the call of Central Vietnam Buddhist Sangha to support people in India and the most venerable rector, Buddhist monks and nuns in Vietnam Buddhist University also contributed money to support the people in India to soon overcome the disaster caused by the COVID-19 pandemic.
On May 12, 2021, the Vietnamese Buddhist Sangha held a ceremony to donate 100 ventilators and 50 oxygen generators worth nearly 14 billion VND to support the government and people of India to overcome the disaster caused by the COVID-19 pandemic.
At the ceremony, Venerable Thích Đức Thiện, Vice Chairman, General Secretary of the Administrative Council, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha stated, Vietnam and India have a long tradition of friendship. India is the birthplace of Buddhism. During 2,000 years of history, Buddhism has always been the bridge for the friendship between the two countries. And this is the sentiment of monks, nuns, Buddhists from international religious interns who have studied in India. From pagodas and temples of the country and business to join hands to support with the desire to contribute to protecting the lives of the Indian people in the battle against COVID-19. Mr. Prani Verma, Indian ambassador to Vietnam, thanked the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Buddhist laymen, and Vietnamese people for their love expressed by donating products that Indians are in urgent need at this challenging time. Attending online from New Delhi, India, Mr. Pham Sancho, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Vietnam in India, was extremely grateful to witness the ceremony of donating medical supplies to the people of India.
On the morning of May 14, 2021, the Central Committee of Vietnam Fatherland Front, in collaboration with the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, held a conference to discuss promoting the role of religions in environmental protection and respond to climate change phase 2021 to 2026.
Mr. Ngô Sách Thực presided over the conference, and the representatives of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in the conference were Most Venerable Thích Gia Quang, Vice Chairman of the Administrative Council, head of the Information and Communication Session; Most Venerable Thích Bảo Nghiêm, Vice Chairman of the Administrative Council, head of the Central Section of Dharma Enactment. At the conference, Most Venerable Thích Gia Quang, Most Venerable Thích Bảo Nghiêm, experts, scientists, religious researchers, and attendees discussed, evaluated the outcomes, experiences in implementing the DHARMA program, and proposed solutions to finalize the draft version, guidelines for enhancing the DHARMA programs to promote the role of religions in environmental protection and response to climate change in 2021-2026 phase. Mr. Ngô Sách Thực affirmed that religions have built many models suitable to the specific conditions of each locality and each religion, contributing to a drastic change in awareness and changing the attitudes, behavior, and habits of the majority of dignitaries, officials, monks, religious compatriots, and the people in protecting the environment and responding to climate change. He suggested that the draft version should develop and finalize the specific goal consistent with the plan and strategy of environmental protection to create a high consensus in the community.
According to information from the Ministry of Health, from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. on May 14, 2021, 59 more COVID positive cases are recorded in Vietnam, from number 3,757 rises to 3,816 cases, which means the number of COVID-19 infections on May 14, 2021 to 104 cases in total. Hanoi and Bắc Ninh are leading in number of infections, which 197 and 177 cases, respectively. The total number of community-based infections in Vietnam since the second outbreak, dated April 27, 2021, up to now is 788 cases, recorded in 26 provinces and cities nationwide. The outbreaks were quickly blocked and infected cases were isolated in time. According to the National Vaccination Program, on May 12, 2021, 17,152 people were vaccinated against SARS-CoV-2. Up to now, 959,182 people in total were injected with the anti-COVID-19 vaccine. Venerable monks and nuns, Buddhists, ladies and gentlemen, the last news has signed off this weekly newsreel. Thank you for your attention and following. Goodbye and see you in the next program on PSO TV channel. Namo Sakya Muni Buddha.